I'm worried that that maybe my mic isn't working today. I can't tell for sure. So, так, хорошо. Добро пожаловать всем. Yeah, again, let me know in the comments let me know if my mic is working before I proceed and make a complete fool of myself, assuming that my mic is working. My daughter was playing with my setup here, and now one of my headphones isn't working, and who knows what else she messed up. So anyway, it's been a while. Again, I'm just waiting for feedback to make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, все в порядке. Скажите, пожалуйста, все в порядке с звуком. Вы нормально меня слышите, потому что моя дочка-хулиганечка играла с моим оборудованием вот здесь. Я не знаю, что из этого вышло. Да. Так что скажите, пожалуйста, слышите ли вы меня? Вы слышите меня, пожалуйста? Once I hear back from somebody, today's going to be super fun. We've got a big announcement about my channel that I'll be making later on in the video today. So again, let me know. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Супер. Окей, круто. Вот. Вообще, спасибо. Хорошо, скажите, пожалуйста, как вы проводили лето? Чем вы занимались? Что было интересно этим летом? Какие у вас дела сейчас? Вот мы с мужем ездили на мою родину, то есть в мой родной штат Юта, и ему сильно, очень безумно понравилось наше Юта, и мне тоже понравилось. Хотя я не хочу там жить, на этой поездке я поняла, насколько у меня прекрасный штат. Вот. Так что, вот, кажется, у нас я уже знаю вас, я знаю Space Biker, я знаю Max Gogol, и кажется, у нас новый гость, Валерия. Кстати, я ходила на 2 концерта, когда я жила в России. Я ходила на концерт Валерии, кстати, она мне очень нравилась. И также я ходила на... Нет, это не было в Москве, я ходила на концерт Мумия-тролля в Солт-Лейк-Сити. В каком году? Где-то в 2011 году, может быть. Да, было здорово. И вот, хорошо. Тогда давайте начнем наш лайвстрим. Everybody's probably wondering, ooh, what's my news? I'll tell you right now, the announcement, I'm not pregnant. Everybody thinks I'm going to have another baby. No, I am not pregnant. I'm not having any more kids. 4 kids is enough. I want more, but I'm 40 years old. I need to stop having kids. So, окей, хорошо, давайте поговорим о нашей песне сегодня. So, if you haven't discovered Soviet cartoons, they are just the cutest thing in the whole world. I actually, when I was little, I hated cartoons because they're too crazy. You know, I'm very I get sensory overloaded really easily. So I love Soviet cartoons because they're so simple, you know, and they have such a good, deep meaning. So today's video and today's song is one of the first songs I heard in Russian, because when I lived in Moscow, they had this children's show at night, and I can't remember what it was called. But they would show it every night, and they would always have "Спят усталые игрушки." I can't remember. It's a name of a children's show. I don't know if they show it anymore, but they showed it every night in Moscow, and it had a lot of these children's songs. So I heard a lot of them. And the great thing about children's songs is they are very simple and very repetitive, and they get stuck in your head. So let's see, Max Gogol says, солист, я. Илья Лаготенко, лингвист изучал. Интересно, изучал лингвистику. У него очень Да, я с вами совершенно согласна. У него очень необычное произношение. Причем без акцента. Да, вот. И я знаю, что, может быть, у него странное произношение из-за его огромного рта. Знаете ли вы, у кого самый огромный рот среди наших американских музыкантов, знаете ли вы, у кого мы говорим, что у этого человека огромный рот? Вы знаете, у какого американского музыканта самый большой рот, как у Или Лагатенко? Вот. Так, so somebody was asking me about Ilya Lagutenko, the lead singer of Mumitrol, which is one of the rock bands I went to a concert of. Мик Джаггер, да, у него большой, но он английский, он англичанин. So Mick Jagger has a big mouth, but he's British. We have an American musician has a huge mouth. So let's see if anybody knows who it is. So Mikhail Kryukov asks, Jenny, планируешь в Россию приехать? Нет. No, I'm not planning to come to Russia anytime soon. One, my passport is expired, and two, not while I have a little child. So maybe someday when my kids are a little bit bigger, I would go, but I don't want to travel right now with a toddler. It's not fun. It's not fun. In fact, we're going to California. Да, молодец. Overtime говорит Aerosmith. So his name's Steven Tyler. Good. So Steven Tyler is our American musician, the equivalent of Ilya Lagutenko. He has a huge mouth. So anyway, хорошо. Вот такие дела. So we were talking about the Soviet song, Soviet cartoons, which are all adorable. And in this new kind of unit I'm going to be doing on the Russian cases, I'll be pulling a lot from these Soviet songs because they illustrate the grammar really beautifully and they're really easy to remember. That's why to this day, you probably remember a lot of songs from your childhood, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, etc. So if you learn these songs in Russian, they will also get stuck in your head and they will help you learn the language more quickly. So today's song is called Какой чудесный день. Какой чудесный день. It's from Песенка Мышонка, so like the song of the little mouse. And we're going to go through, and it's very repetitive and very easy to understand. So the song goes, and in fact, I was going to play it. Let me see if I can pull that up on my screen while we're waiting here. So it goes, Какой чудесный день, какой чудесный пень, какой чудесный я, и песенка моя, я. So it's just this little mouse that's singing. He's in a great little mood, and he's up on a tree stump, and he's singing. So Какой чудесный день. So this word какой is going to translate interestingly. So let me know how you would translate this. Какой чудесный день. And we're going to see how какой can translate in various ways. So we're seeing, so let's talk about the grammar here. Literally, we are going to translate this as, let's see, 1 second. We're going to translate this as, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful day. And then what a wonderful tree stump. He's playing his guitar. He's standing up on this little tree stump. By the way, I'll link to this original video down below. And so one of the first things you need to learn as you're learning Russian grammar is the gender of nouns, the gender of nouns. Now, it's really straightforward for the most part, but some of the time you have to memorize whether something's masculine or feminine, and that's if it ends in a мягкий знак, if it ends in a soft sign. So anything that ends in a soft sign can be either feminine or masculine. So what I always tell students, if you see a word that ends in a soft sign and you're not sure, is it masculine or is it feminine, look at the words in front of it. Do they look masculine or do they look feminine? So once you kind of know the system of gender in Russian, you know that и краткое means a masculine in Russian. So день is a masculine. That's why we say добрый день and not добрая день. Какой чудесный день, какой чудесный пень. Okay, and we're going to talk about this word какой in just a second. So real quick, in the coming weeks, you're going to be hearing me go over in more detail the cases. We always start off with the nominative case. So what is nominative case? Nominative case is the original dictionary form. So if you go over to a dictionary, this is from slovari.yandex.ru, and you put wonderful, look, every single version it's going to give you is the masculine nominative. Everything's going to automatically be in the nominative case. So it's the original form. Nothing is being done to this word. You're not loving it. You're not studying it. There is no preposition in front of it, like by or under or with. And then it's the subject of the sentence. If you're going to use nominative case if it's the thing doing the verb. And then it's nominative case is used when you're just saying this is that. Я американка. I don't need to put it into any case. Это мой брат. This is my brother. Not doing anything to it. There's no preposition, etc. So that is what's called the nominative case. It is the original form of nouns, adjectives, and possessives. So as you go through this study with me of the cases, some of the things you're going to learn in the chapter on nominative case are just the absolute most fundamentals of Russian, such as the gender of nouns, how adjectives, possessives, and demonstratives, in other words, they change for gender. So you say mой, моя, мои, моё. Those are all changing for gender / number. You should also know how to make plurals. It's not always super straightforward. So you need to know when you're looking at a plural, because plurals are going to get one ending and singulars will get a different ending. And then also, this is, again, for probably anybody who was educated in a decent school, so i.e. not the American public school system. You probably know this stuff, but I'm telling you, if you went through American public school, you probably struggle to know what is a noun, what is a pronoun, what is an adjective, what's a verb, what's an adverb. So that's what you would be learning in my first unit of talking about the nominative case. You think, oh, why do I need an entire unit on the nominative case? Well, there's actually some things that are a little trickier than you might think. So I'll be having a video on that coming out next week. And that's the first chapter in my textbook on the cases, which is one of my exciting announcements. I will be not publishing, but making available in ebook form a textbook. So it's going to be called Russian Cases Made Easy, not easy, slightly less scary. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like to take a humorous, fun, lighthearted approach to the Russian cases. So that's going to be coming soon. And then it will have an accompanying website, which will have the video explanations, plus the answer key to all of the exercises in there. And then it'll have a bunch of these songs, these little children's songs, to help you along and to bring the grammar to life. So this is, again, that's going to be being made available very soon. I'm finishing up the final little details on it. And it's the first in a series. I'll be doing this at the beginning level. I'll do a textbook that's at the beginning level, then at the intermediate level, then at the advanced level. Then I would do the Russian verbs made easy, slightly less scary, Russian verbal aspect made slightly less scary, etc. So this is going to be a series I'm going to be working on over the course of the next year. So that's big announcement number one, is I will be having a textbook and it will have an accompanying website. It'll be available soon. So now let's go back to our little song. Then he goes on to say, so he just said, какой чудесный день, какой чудесный пень, какой чудесный я. So this one's interesting. How would you translate this phrase? Какой чудесный я. Какой чудесный я. This is a funny one to try and put into English. 7S Spot says, здорово быть с тобой сегодня. Я нахожусь в Ванкувере, Канада. Я очень люблю Ванкувер. Я там была несколько лет назад. Я обожаю Ванкувер. Это вообще клевый город. Гораздо лучше, чем, наш ужасный помойка город Сиэтл. Мне очень не нравится Сиэтл. Извиняюсь, если вы живете в Сиэтле. Но Ванкувер – это как более красивый, более чистый вариант Сиэтла. Более шикарный. Да, мне не нравится Seattle. Okay, so then he goes on. Who wants to try and translate this phrase? Какой чудесный я. Какой чудесный я. So in English, we don't talk like this anymore. We don't say, for example, in Russian, it sounds totally normal to say, это я. It is I. It is I. We don't talk like that in English anymore. We now say, it's me. It's me, Janie, right? But in Russian, you do talk like that. So he's saying, какой чудесный я. How wonderful am I? How wonderful am I? I'm so awesome. И песенка моя. И песенка моя. So this is why I love having my students learn this song, because you're learning these adjectives, the different adjectives in the different genders, plus the word muy in different genders as well. So, for example, какой чудесный я, this little мышонок is a masculine, so he's calling himself чудесный, he's using a masculine to describe himself. And then песенка is a feminine, and that's why we say моя. For some reason, English speakers really struggle with, yes. So how awesome I am, yes. Yes, that does. That sounds much better. How awesome I am. And so English speakers, for some reason, really struggle with these different versions of moi. I don't get it. So they'll say things like moya, and then the plural, mai. English speakers can't say it. I don't understand why. Mai, 2 syllables. Mai, maya, mayo. So again, don't say moya, maya. And that's why I like this song, because it gets stuck in your head the way he says it. He says, "И песенка моя, я." That really helps you to remember where the word stress should be. Okay, so again, we're just seeing so much nominative case here. Nominative case is where nothing in the sentence forces it to change. It's not the direct object. There's no preposition in front of it. Nobody's doing anything to it. It just is, right? Okay, хорошо. So let's talk about this word какой. This translates in several different ways. Let's see if some people can translate this dialogue for me. The word какой has lots of different translations into English. И я скажу вам русским сейчас, что вы слишком много употребляете слово which. На английском мы на самом деле очень редко говорим слово which. Может быть, если это очень чистый британский английский, они употребляют вот слово which больше, но на американском диалекте мы редко употребляем слово which. Вот, потому что слово который переводится иногда на английский как which. Но я часто замечаю, что русские слишком много употребляют слово which. Обычно мы говорим what, да? Okay, so let's look at this little dialogue. The word какой has so many different uses. So this first one, какое интересное слово. Then the next person says, какое? Вот это слово какое? А какие слова тебе нравятся? So who wants to try and translate this dialogue? Each of these какое is going to translate differently. Isn't that crazy? Each of these какое is going to have a different translation. And you have to know this word, какой. It is one of the most important question words you can get in Russian, and it gets gender and it gets cases. And so as you go through this case textbook that I've written, trust me, you will practice very many times how to put какой into context, how to put it into a case to be able to ask a question. So, какое интересное слово. So, the word какой, and notice we're putting it into a neuter here, neuter ending, because of the word слово is neuter. So, this is an exclamation. I'm not getting any, nobody seems to want to translate. So, you would say, what an interesting word. In the same way that наш, good. So Diana, почти по-русски. Diana is here saying how she would translate. So in the same way that our little мышонок in this song is saying, какой чудесный день. Oh, what a wonderful day. So this is how we make an exclamation in English, right? So, or in Russian. What an interesting word. And then the next translation of this would be which one, right? Which word? What are you talking about, right? So another translation of the word какой is which, what. Although more informal English, we would say what word, right? We don't, we're using the word which less and less in modern English. So you'd say what word, which word, right? So какой can mean what a, exclamation. It can mean which. So, for example, if you're saying, вот мой чемодан, there's my suitcase, and somebody is like, какой чемодан? Which one is it? And then the next part in the dialogue is they say, вот это слово, какое. So they're saying like, this word here, какое, okay? And then the follow-up word is Oh, good. So I like how почти по-русски translated. What words do you like? That is much more authentic English to say, what words do you like? Instead of which words. We really do not say which unless we really want to distinguish not that one, this one. We really want to emphasize not that one, this one kind of thing. Um, the other translation that I use for какой is what kind. What kind? Какая у тебя машина? Какая у тебя машина? Oh, what kind of car do you have? What kind? So it can be which, it can be what, exclamation, or it can be what kind. What kind? Okay, вот следующее слово. Okay, another one of the words that I heard all the time in Russian is this word такой, такой, такие. And again, Russians, вы слишком много употребляете слово such, да? Мы употребляем вот это слово меньше. Я не могу сейчас привести пример, но я замечаю, что русские слишком много употребляют слово such, да? More often, Russians would say such when in English it would be more natural to say that kind of or those kinds of. Okay, so let's look at this dialogue here. Какая машина у тебя есть? What kind of car do you have? What kind of car? What kind of car? Not which kind. Again, that doesn't sound very natural in English. Какая машина у тебя есть? What kind of car do you have? And then if any of you guys know Russian car brands, Moskvich. It's not. When I lived in Moscow, Lada and Moskvich were not considered good cars. So a Moskvich is like a Russian-made car. And then the friend says, серьезно? Она такая ужасная. Okay, so this word такая, it's getting feminine because машина is feminine. So this word, I would say, oh, but it's so horrible. It's so horrible. But if we add in машина, then we have to say, oh, but that's such a horrible car. That's such a horrible car. So the noun needs to be present in the sentence. Ну, она такая ужасная машина. And then you say, нет, мне нравятся такие ретро-машины. Да? So no, I like those kinds of retro cars. So notice I didn't say, I like such cars. Again, that doesn't sound natural English to say that. So you would say, I like those kinds of cars. Okay. So in the same way that какой would mean what kind of, if we say такой, it means that kind of. Такие. А такие машины мне нравятся. Они очень уникальные, скажем, да. Вот. Хорошо. Потом, so let's see. So yeah, again, you can find on Patreon all sorts of worksheets with these kinds of things of how to put different words like такой and какой into all different cases. Also over on Patreon, in fact, let me pull that up. I'm going to share my screen real fast. I just wanted to kind of show I just wanted to kind of show some of the benefits that we have over on Patreon for different people. So specifically, at the $25 level, we have a conversation club that we do every Saturday. We have a Discord group where we can all kind of talk. And then obviously you get access to anything I post on my Patreon. If you're one of my patrons, you get access to anything I post. Now, I have some crazy people that want to support me at the $50 level, which is awesome. But what this comes with is you get a free lesson every month. And then also you can text me at any time during the day. I will give you my personal number on WhatsApp. And you can text me and we can send each other audio messages. Again, so you're thinking of me as kind of your accountability partner, somebody who will kind of help you practice Russian and speak Russian every single day, getting little, messages from me that force you to have to respond in Russian. So that's at the $50 level. That gets you access to everything, to the conversation club, to all the materials, to, daily interactions with me on WhatsApp, and then our monthly newsletter, and you can text me anytime with translation questions, etc. So yeah, that's the one that I think is super fun. And then most of my members are here at the language club level. So again, this has fun little, let me show my, so, different posts. See, so my patrons got information about my big announcement that's coming today. And then just little grammar worksheets here and there, fun little things about learning Russian, also unedited videos from my various guests that I've had on. So yeah, it's always fun. Oh, my newsletters are just fun. I love them. They're super fun to make. Anyway, they're pretty and lots of stuff about culture and so on and so forth. So anyway, that is about my Patreon page. I'll end that now. Okay, so back to our song. Next line. Не скучно мне ничуть. Пою, когда хочу. Не скучно мне ничуть. Пою, когда хочу. So let's look at the breakdown of this. Somebody's asking, обучаете ли вы английскому языку такими же эффективными видеоуроками? Нет, это потому что это не моя специальность. Конечно, я говорю на английском, но не очень хорошо умею учить людей английскому, к сожалению. То есть, конечно, если у вас есть интерес, вы хотите проводить со мной уроки, я бы смогла, но я не могу гарантировать качество этих уроков, потому что, да, вот, да, и вы можете, кстати, присутствовать на всех наших клубах, то есть на всех наших встречах в клубе, и там мы просто разговариваем, обсуждаем разные темы, и там есть несколько русских, несколько американцев и даже несколько иностранцев, и мы просто обсуждаем разные темы с разных точек зрения. Например, в каких ситуациях нельзя плакать, да, потому что американцы, они очень, они не любят показывать свои эмоции, и поэтому даже после смерти возлюбленного человека они иногда не плачут, это очень странно и так далее. То есть, да, мы обсуждаем разные вопросы в наших культурах, и так далее. И это все, это каждую субботу у нас есть этот клуб, разговорный клуб. Окей, хорошо, So back to, but by the way, yeah, so, если вы хотите, вы можете там связаться с кем-то, с американцем, и, может быть, там есть люди, которые действительно умеют учить английский, да. То есть я говорю на английском, но чтобы объяснить грамматику, я думаю, что мне бы не удалось. Я не знаю. Окей, хорошо, дальше. Окей, so мне скучно, но не скучно мне ничуть. Пою, когда хочу. So this is interesting, the way we phrase this. So let's see the translation here. So not boring to me, not a bit. And that's a weird translation, right? So we would say, I'm not even a little bit bored. I'm not even bored whatsoever. So in Russian, boredom happens to you. It's a passive emotion. And a lot of times this happens in Russian. Cold happens to you. Мне холодно, мне жарко, мне плохо, right? So sometimes these emotions happen to you. So that's getting dative case. And then skучно is technically the short form neuter adjective of saying just like it is. And then ничуть means like, if you've maybe heard the word чуть-чуть, да, я говорю чуть-чуть по-русски, ничуть just negates it, not a bit, not even a tiny little bit, да. And then we've got some verbs here. Пою, когда хочу. Пою, когда хочу. So this comes from the verb петь. Look at how not related to пою. the verb петь. It looks like a totally different verb. And in fact, English speakers always confuse петь and пить because it's пою and пью. So they always confuse those. Пою, когда хочу. So I'm not even just the slightest bit bored. I sing when I feel like it. I sing when I want to. Okay, so that's what this little мышонок is saying. Then he goes on to say, "Какой веселый я!" So again, another exclamation. I'm interested to see how you would translate the word веселый. This is a tricky one to translate. It translates in various ways in English. And then here again is that phrase with that моя, я, и песенка моя, я, right? Again, if you guys are interested, вот Георгио, Сергей, пожалуйста, пишите мне, я могу пригласить вас на встречу нашего клуба, вы можете там побывать и просто наблюдать, как идет вот такой клуб или урок. Это маленький урок, мы, конечно, не обсуждаем грамматику, но я исправляю грамматику иногда и так далее. Или я даю разные советы или подсказываю, где нужно и так далее. Вот. Okay, so again, he's saying, какой веселый я и песенка моя. So веселый, I think this is probably the closest word to our favorite English word that we have, which is fun. I'm so fun, right? How fun am I? Or it could be like, I'm happy, you're in a good mood, I'm jolly, etc. And then и песенка моя, я. И песенка моя, я. Очень хорошо. So again, he's making next, how fun am I? I am so fun, I'm so jolly. And my little song. Okay, so one of my favorite things in the Russian language. Are we ready? Diminutives. Oh my gosh, we don't have these in English, but this is just one of the best things in Russian. You can make things smaller and cuter and smaller and cuter. So for example, песенка is the diminutive, the small, cute version of песня, right? So песня can go to песенка. Рука, your hand, can go to make it small and cute. You love that cute little hand. Рученька, да? Дай мне рученьку твою. Give me your little hand. Then this is another one. Привет. You might have heard this. Приветик. Приветики. Right? These are diminutives. Глаз. But if you're talking about a cute little, did you get something in your cute little baby eye? Глазок. Вот. Глазок. And then you can also make adjectives diminutive. So for example, чудесный, like wonderful, which is what we've been saying in the song, you can make it small and cute. Чудесненький. Like it's such an adorable little wonderful. See, we don't have these words in English. We have to use baby intonation. We have to use like little in it. And then what's super funny in Russian is you can take words that are otherwise negative, like пьяный, грязный, вонючий, for example, and you can make those cute and little. So пьяный meaning drunk. If you wanted to be like, you're such a little drunky drunk. I don't know, we don't have these words in English, but like you can make пьяный like small and cute. So какой ты пьяненький, like you're just adorably drunk, kind of. Again, we don't have these words in English, unfortunately. What's super fun though is then you can even make things smaller and smaller and smaller. So for example, so рядом, the word next to. Сидит рядышком. You can even take a preposition. Like рядом can be even made cute and small. Да, вот когда ты рядышком со мной, etc. Then you can take something like книга. We make it small, книжка. And then you can make it even smaller and cuter. Книжечка. Same thing here with мальчики. Those can get smaller. Мальчишки. So мальчики meaning boys. Мальчишки. Be like, little boys. And then you can make them even smaller and cuter. Мальчишечки. Like these are just adorable. This is the cutest thing in Russian and we don't have it in English. So let me know what are your favorite in the comments. Let me know what are your favorite diminutives in Russian. They're so funny. Like, and you can turn almost any word into a cute little something. So, okay, хорошо. So yes, so почти по-русски says doggy. Yes, in English, putting y on the end of things is close to diminutive. So for example, if I'm talking to my baby, I would call her hands, her handsies. Give me your little handsy, your cheekies, your cheeky cheeks, right? So, kind of like a Y sound on the ends of things. John, his diminutive is Johnny, Jackie, etc. Yeah, my friends, Георгиос, кстати, вот именно как называли меня вот мои друзья в России. Они называли меня Дженечкой. Дженечка, да. So again, it's like an affectionate thing. Now, what's interesting though is most of my students in universities are men. And they've learned Russian living over in Russia. So what's so funny is when you talk to an adult, especially an adult man who has learned Russian from their grandma or from a woman, they say really funny things about themselves. So it's like they're doing baby talk about themselves. So сюсюкание is baby talk. So do not use baby talk about yourself. So don't use these diminutives about yourself. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. So for example, I once had a grown male student say, "У меня животик болит." Another one is, "Я кушал вкусненький супчик," right? Like, so you cannot do this сюсюканье about yourself. You're actually technically not to say "я кушал." You're supposed to say "я ел." Кушать is technically a version of сюсюканье, so keep that in mind. And then the other one that I don't understand why grown men are saying this is спасибочки, спасибочки. These are not formal words. And again, you wouldn't do baby talk at your job with your boss. Like, it sounds ridiculous when you say these things. So for those of you who are learning Russian, even though babushka or whoever speaks to you with these cute little diminutives, does not mean you should speak to your professor or your boss or anybody with these diminutives about yourself. So, хорошо, вот такие дела, вот такие пирожки. Going on with our song. Какой чудесный день, работать мне не лень. Oh, this is a good one, interesting to translate here. So back to какой чудесный день, and then работать мне не лень. How would you translate this one? Мне не лень, мне лень, мне лень, мне не лень, right? So what's he saying? This one's super interesting to try and translate into English. So we have the какой чудесный день, the exclamation again. And then we have работать, the infinitive of a verb, passive emotion. So лень here is our emotion. It's a laziness. So if you say мне лень, it means in English, and I don't see anybody wanting to translate this one, so I will do it. It means I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't want to. Like, you're lazy. You don't have any energy. I don't feel like it. Мне лень. Нет. Мне неохота. Мне лень. Right? Like, I didn't have the energy to do it. I didn't feel like it. Right? So he's in a great mood though. Moshonak is in a great mood. So he's in the mood to work. He is in the mood to work, which is surprising. It's not every day that you're in the mood to work, but yeah, he's in a great little mood. He's singing. He's ready to work. He's in the mood to work. Good. So now our last little slide. Со мной мои. English speakers who are learning Russian, 2 syllables. We've got мой, masculine. Now, every other version has 2 syllables. Моя, моё, мои. A lot of times English speakers will say this word as мои. Nope. Мои. Со мной мои друзья и песенка моя. Так, очень хорошо. So let's look at the grammar analysis. Со мной, that's our instrumental. That's the word я / меня getting instrumental case. Со мной. Why are we getting a со right there? This is one of those questions. If you remember my video with Diana, this is one of my questions. Why do we sometimes get во, ко, со? And usually it has to do with consonant clusters, first letter of which is a s or a z, but we still have leftover from Old Russian where originally there would have been a yer right here, that over time turned into a o. And originally the yer in Russian, it like looks like today's kind of tyordy znak. It would have had a sound in it, со мной. So this is left over from Old Russian, and we, sure enough, we have a consonant cluster, mной, 2 consonants right together. And that's not with all consonant clusters, just certain ones. Со мной мои друзья. And then notice друзья is an irregular plural. That's one of those things you're going to learn in my textbook on the unit of nominative case. Some of these weird irregular plurals, and they tend to be human, or they tend to be like people and animal words. They tend to be very irregular. So со мной мои друзья, it's an irregular plural. И песенка моя, я. And there you go. And there's your cute little adorable song. So here we go. Big announcement. So as many of you have seen my videos lately, I'm kind of taking a little bit different approach. I'm having more of my face in these videos. And since I don't teach in college anymore, I am reading the chat, Rafał. But I'm just trying not to get too distracted, because otherwise this video it ends up being 2 hours long. So yes, I'm reading the chat. So big announcement. Since I am, like I said in one of my previous videos, another YouTuber pointed out to me that I am the only native English speaking teacher or native English speaking person who teaches Russian on YouTube and shows their face, right? There is this other guy, super old school. I can't remember what his channel is, but I'm one of the only people that I know of that shows my face. And that is what makes me unique. That is makes me uniquely able to understand the pain of people who are trying to teach themselves Russian. So I taught myself Russian many years ago, 20 years ago to be precise. And then I taught it in college for many years. And that's why I originally named my channel College Russian, because it was supplemental materials to my lessons. And then we've got the EO. Bardzo złe mówię po polsku. Bardzo złe mówię po polsku. So, but I started learning Polish on my Duolingo. So stay in touch. And in fact, you should email me, because I need a Polish speaking partner. Anyway, so I'm changing the name of my channel. It will be you'll see more of my face. And it's going to be called How Janie Learned Russian. So this is going to be more of an emphasis on the painful process that we learners of Russian go through when we're trying to learn Russian. And it's going to be more directed to like helping people make sense of Russian. And then obviously my love for Russian culture, Russian literature. And you can kind of see in the background there's my студенческий билет when I studied at MGU, some of my favorite Russian literature, my master's degree right there. And so on and so forth. So that I am renaming my channel. It'll still be me. Everything else will be the same, but my channel is now going to be How Janie Learned Russian, hoping to inspire more people who are trying to learn Russian. So in this, you may recognize this logo. It's based on this old Soviet plakat, which I saw this long before I knew Russian. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I loved these old Soviet propaganda posters, and I collected them for a long time. And so thanks to my friend over at Space Biker, here's his channel. You guys can see him. He's the one who designed all of this for me. Big thank you to him, Daniel. He comes to our conversation clubs too, by the way. So he mimicked the whole the whole poster. So I think it's super cool. So you're going to see in the next couple of days, my channel is going to look a little bit different. And again, super inspired by my love for all things Russian and Soviet culture, and, more tips and tricks on how you really can learn Russian. Again, I want to remind people, I only lived in Russia for 1.5 years. Everything else has been me here in the US, practicing, teaching myself, surrounding myself with Russian as much as possible. So, and that's why I feel like I'm very suited to help inspire other people that you can do it too. You don't have to live in Russia. You don't have to have a Russian girlfriend. You can if you want to, but you can become fluent in a language without living in the country for long periods of time. So again, hopefully everybody is inspired by my channel, and I hope to have more content for you. Find me over at Patreon. I will link to that in the description here. And again, feel free to email me. If you are interested in an English language club, email me, collegerussian@gmail.com. Rafael, oh wait, no, sorry, that's Portuguese influence. Rafael, you should email me because I'm looking for somebody to practice Polish with as well. So anyway, so that is the rebranding of my channel. That's the new news. I've got that coming up, plus my textbook that is going to be published and have its own website pretty soon. And I hope to see all of you in our conversation club on Saturday. И это все. Целую. Спасибо, что пришли. Спасибо за поддержку. И это все. До свидания.